Hello, I'm Brian Gauthier of Something Better Company, and I just want to welcome you to your decorative concrete overlays, going over existing tile in a kitchen floor. And first part of preparation, I'm using 30 grit sandpaper. Just do circular motions systematically all the way through the entire surface. You can also do the standing up. Just use a pole attached to a sheetrock sanding pad, and then just use a shop vacuum to clean up your dust and if there's any small debris. And then the next part, I'll actually use usually a 5-gallon bucket. I'll put 4 gallons of water and then 1 gallon of denatured alcohol and just clean the floor real thorough. And then after that, come back with some dry towels and actually just get it as dry as you can. Make sure you get all the moisture out of the grout lines, and then it'll be ready for the bond coat. And the bond coat, I'm putting a little bit of ice water in it right now, but it's about 90% concrete polymer concentrate, which is the 46% solid content, and then a little bit of prohibit or concrete retarder just to slow down the drying process a little bit. And another little tip along the edges, you can actually use 1/2-inch fiber tape. If you have a good idea of how thick you're going to trowel it, maybe study the tile, see if there's any ups and downs, and just figure, if you know the depth, you can actually tape it off real accurately along the cabinets and along the walls. Ideally, you want to get it dead on the dot. That way when you're done with the cement part, you can pull your fiber tape, and then you won't have very many cosmetic things such as using a razor knife and just cutting it clean. And main thing here is just get your bond coat as flat as you can. Try to hide your grout lines as much as you can. If they're still there a little bit, your marble coat's going to cover it, but the flatter you do the bond coat, the easier it'll be on your actual marble coat. And then even this coat, you're going to have a few little ridges here and there, or the rainbows, and then you'll just use a concrete stone to sand them down flat. A little thing here, it's good to show. A little dog ran across it, left some foot tracks, but something on this, I've got concrete spikes on. Just walk out, use a little mister bottle and lightly mist it, and then just trowel it out. But that also shows another method where you can actually go out, if it's a thick enough application, is let the material cure out and then walk out with spikes, mist it down. You can get a real tight burn finish. And right here, Scott's applying the marble coat. This is a real nice mix to work with. Main thing on this, you don't want to have too wet of a mix. As long as it's a little bit thicker, you'll be able to get a nice burn finish. You can even see the consistency right there, where it looks a little thicker as it's sitting there. As you go to trowel it, it's going to loosen it up again, but it's still a lot thicker than normal. But that's good, because you can actually, if you mix it too wet, what's going to happen is you're going to trowel it around and then it's going to dry out and it's going to appear to be a lot more porous. But for interiors, you want a nice, fairly flat surface with the least amount of texture possible. But that's about it on the marble coat. And if you do have a few blemishes here, you can just lightly sand it down with some sandpaper. But this floor is ready for coloration.